Okay, I believe we are live. Are we live?
Gosh, I could use some help.
Okay, so we are now live. I do apologise about the last live, where I just made a slight mistake when I went live. However, we have dealt with that. I'm just gonna remove the last live stream that I did. Just because
I
it
could
was
use some
done
help.
in error. I kind of started the stream a bit too early, and got some of the video that I was recording in there, and I don't want that to be up. So what we're gonna do is just remove that. Okay, there we go. We are now sorted. No one saw it, which is good. It's always good to repair the mistakes a little bit quicker. So here we are. We are now live here today. So let's go into the previous shots. Now I did look at this in the video, but I did say there were some things that I did really like. So I have bought the Hatter Furniture Bundle. And I do like a fair bit of this, but I love this teapot feature pond. I think it is going to look really nice in the teapot full, so we'll go and buy that. And I'm not sure whether to buy anything else, so we will see. However, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be finishing the event. We are finally going to be finishing all the current tasks with the Winter Floating Island, Winter Floating Festival, whatever the event's called, I really don't know. But we're going to be finishing that event today. We're going to get 5 milks. I think that's all we need. So we have 2 missions left to complete. I could have actually completed the event yesterday. However, I would do it on stream with you guys, which is why we are actually yet to complete it. And I've gone to the wrong point. The Winter Floating Festival teleport. And let's do this now. All we need to do is make a few more of, I believe it's the mint hot chocolate. Is it mint hot chocolate? Festa mint hot cocoa. And the one we need today, so I'm actually recording this on a Tuesday, so we need a festive cherry hot cocoa, which you can see we do not have an extra one of. So what we're going to do is go just over here to where we can make the hot cocos, and we'll make a festive cherry hot cocoa and the festive mint hot cocos as well. So make the festive cherry, and then I'm actually 1 festive cocoa short, I think. Yeah, we're 1 festive cocoa short. Of course we are. However, what we can do is we can feed the little pet that's been hanging around the area all the time. He says as the lovely pet has disappeared. Where's he gone? Come on, you were only here a minute ago. Where have you gone? I was going to pick up the sugarcane because this event has been very expensive on the sugarcane. And I definitely need more of it, but I've still not farmed any. So we'll pick up the sugarcane. Well, we look for the pets that has been giving us memories over the last few days. But where has it gone? Like, genuinely, where has he gone? Okay, well, it looks like we're going to get the festive cocoa through here. We'll get multiple just in case we need more. And there he is. I've just spotted him hiding behind the hedges. Hello. Right, so you want a festive cherry hot cocoa in return for a memory. There we go, let's pick it up and see what we get. And there you go, it's showing us precisely where we need to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go and grab that. Do one thing at a time now. And we can go and dig up in this area. I've known where it has been all the time, but had to wait. But there we go. We have got a winter floating festival pouch. And we get the Torp winter hat, I believe is that. So now that we've done that, let's go make the last festive mint hot cocoa and place them where they need to go. And we will have finally, after a long time, we will have finally finished everything with this event. I believe that's it all done. So let's just go in here. Now, I wasn't always going to do this on the video, but because we are on a live stream when we're finishing the event, let's go and place these where they need to go. He says, as he just completely forgets where they're meant to go. They're meant to go in the fountain, aren't they? Yeah, they're meant to go in the fountain. And there we go. We have restored the chocolate fountain. And we can get the winter chocolate fountain. That is such a nice furniture item. And we have done it. We have finished all the current puzzles in the winter floating festival. Honestly, I've been apparently struggling to talk properly in these videos. I was recording a video yesterday, and unfortunately, there's a big portion of that video which will not be seen on the channel because I could not stop laughing. I was an absolute mess laughing yesterday on the video. I was recording just after the stream. I could not contain my laughter when I messed up my words. Just laughing at myself. And so we did cut out, I think it was about 6 minutes I've cut out of that video, which admittedly is not out yet. It will be releasing at the end of the week because I've not quite finished doing the video. But for now, we have done the events. I'm going to make sure we're up to date on the dream snaps and routine duties before we do what we have said in the title for our stream, which is building for Cinderella. So we have at least done all 4 of those they've released so far, and we've got a new one unlocking in 9 hours. Is that it? Wait, 9 hours 45? That's earlier than expected. Unfortunately, I can't do that one tomorrow. I will admit I am busy tomorrow afternoon. I'm busy working, so I cannot come on to do weekly reset. But I will do it as soon as I can. I will come on as soon as I have the time. I will probably be doing the video Thursday afternoon. I will probably very quickly record a video after my stream on Thursday. I will quickly come on and see what I got. Or actually, I could do it beforehand actually, because I finish at 10 o'clock on Thursday. I finish work quite early on Thursday, so we can actually come on as soon as we get home, come on and do the video. Now, in terms of the building that I've said we're going to do, let's go to the Wish Blossom Ranch, because that is where Cinderella is living. So let's go over there and kind of begin to plan out the building. So it's going to be a very large building, and if we get Sven today, Sven will be a good one to get today through the archway, and we'll head all the way over to where she is living. So she's living in the Wish Blossom Mountains area, but she is actually living up in the more snowy area. So not where I'm living in the Delver Dale, and not where Snow White's living. Is that Snow White's house? I don't think that's Snow. Hang on, is it Snow White's house?
I have such a fun idea.
I think that is Snow White's house. So not in this wishing way where Snow White lives. But she is in fact going to be living up here. Over the bridge. And you should just be able to see the castle in a second. There we go. You can see her castle there. That is Cinderella's house, and the building is going to take up all of this area. So this whole area is going to be taken up by Cinderella's castle, with an entrance being just over this bridge. So that is the plan. It's a very big build that we are planning, and it is taking up a lot of the Silver Summit. In fact, I think it's the whole of the Silver Summit, I want to say. So the building items that we are going to be using, I'm going to favourite the items, because it's going to be the Charming Castle wall. We're not going to use the Arendelle stuff. I'm going to use that for a bigger design, I think, in the Frosted Heights, to make a bigger part of our theme park, which I want to redesign because over time we've kind of edited a lot in that area, and I think it's just time for a bit of a change. However, I pressed the wrong button. That's what I want to do. So I want to mark these as favourites, and what we're going to do is we're going to particularly put an archway just in here. I think I'm going to do it like a bit across, because I need to make sure that I can put that in there. I would do the corner, but I don't think there's much point going around the edge of the area. I think just extending this way would be a good idea. Now, I will admit... Oh, I can't move that. Okay. I will admit I'm completely making this up as I go along. I have not at all planned what the building is going to look like, much beyond the general idea. So we'll just go into favourites and get the Charming Castle wall. And so the idea is going to be that we are going to go across here. Now, unfortunately, because we're kind of going across the area, we may have little issues like that. But what we can do, I think, actually... Do I have space to put, say, that in? I do. I do have space to put that in. And then what we can do, I think... is we can do that to make the wall a bit more cohesively inside the area. So this is the general idea. I do need to clear some areas out, but you could just see how nice that's going to look with the castle wall going around the main castle. So that is the idea for this build. And then we're going to decorate all inside of here as well. But let's go and grab Sven, just so we can clean up these areas. And I also want to actually get the
Hello.
wishing well built up now, so that we can easily fast travel to Cinderella's home. And it also means we can move it ever so slightly, because I don't actually want it inside of the area, and I want it just about here. We will decorate this area as well, I think, because this is going to be quite a major kind of entryway into her home, so we definitely want that to look really nice. But for now, I need to go and get some more of the castle wall set, just so that we have enough to finish the design, because even though I do have the short walls as well, I don't think I'm going to have enough to finish the job. So let's go and get some of this stuff. So we will head over down into the marketplace in the Wishing Mountains. It's the Wish Blossom Ranch Marketplace, which is actually just down here. I can sneak him through there. Great stuff. And this is Scrooge's store here. So I'm just going to enter there, and we will get the stuff in just a second. However, I'm just going to get up and have a quick drink. Okay, we are back. I do apologise about that. Normally I would have a drink in front of me, however, because I was a little bit delayed in getting ready for this,
Oh, greetings, neighbor.
I kind of didn't make space for my drink to go.
Okay without
So it's just on a table nearby. But what we will do is we will speak
Hello.
to
Thank
Scrooge McDuck.
Hello. Greetings,
Apparently we're having
neighbor.
some slight issues there, but we can speak to him. And we want the charming water. I'm going to order 2 of these. Even though they're expensive, I think they'll look really nice at the entrance to the castle. But what we're actually looking for mainly is
Who's got the best neighbors in the valley?
this.
That's right. You're looking at him.
Right, so we want to order 1 more charming castle arch for now. And then if we order 10 of these, that should do us nicely. And then I think that's all we're going to need for the first part of the build.
Mark me words. A villain and their riches.
So we'll head out of Scrooge's shop and up to where Cinderella is living. So what we'll do is we'll head over to where Cinderella is living to make the building for her. So yeah, let's go and get Sven back. And hopefully we will be able to continue our design up over here where we've done the castle entryway. So if we go into the furniture menu again and into favourites, and we now have more of the charming castle wall. And then I think we're going to have to do a short wall just so that we can get the corner tower in. How much space do we actually have? Okay, yeah, we're not going to get another wall in there, so I think we will just place that like that, and we can continue to go around the area. And do we think... Okay, no, it wouldn't work doing that, okay. So I think it's probably just going to be best to build the entryway level with where that wall is there. I see, to clear the little debris there. Now, personally, I would actually like to bring that. I would have liked to have that here. However, I'm not sure if I can get the corner pieces to work. Oh, we can actually, I think. Let's get some more corner pieces for Scrooge, and we'll see if we can make this work without making a gap like that. Or actually, I've just had an idea. Now, this idea might not work, but we'll try. Because we have these. Oh, I don't have many of those. Okay. Let's go and order some more of these as well and see if we can make something work with those to make a different kind of corner piece. Because the issue with these building kits like this, it's often the corners are all the same as each other. So it'd be nice to have some variation in the design. So we'll head down under this bridge and through here. And there we are. And let's just go into Scrooge's shop to get some more of those. Right. Okay, so
Gosh, I could use some help.
where's Scrooge gone? Scrooge. Oh, it's behind his counter for once. Come on, Scrooge. Talk to me.
Good day to you.
Talk to me. There we go. I'd like to order some items, furniture. And it's going to be the charming castle kit. So it's going to be this one. So we want to order some more of these corners. About 8 of these should do. And we'll order just a couple of these because we might be able to make it look nice. And I think everything else will be okay for now.
Hope you have a bull market day.
Okay, so let's get back on Sven. And we'll just head out over the paddock there and up onto the bridge, going into the charming castle for Cinderella. Once again, stopping here as we go and see if we can make something work. So even though the clipping, they won't clip together, what we might be able to do... Okay, so... See, that's maybe a slight issue with the design. However, we could just put a tree in there to hide the problem that we've created. If we go with a large white blossom and just stick it in there. And then can we put a leaning blossom in between there? No. Small white blossom there. Okay, so we can't put a tree actually inside of the gap. But what we can do is just put some trees around it just to hide the inconsistency that we have created, which adds to the wintry effect, but I think it kind of makes the corner a little bit different and gives you the nice towers, though they are kind of covered by the trees, to be honest. But I think that looks nice. I quite like that. What do we think? So, if we now go and put some more of this going around. Now we can't put another one of those in, but can we do a short wall maybe? And then a corner piece? Not quite, okay. So what, how far can that go? Okay, that could go to there. So could we put a short wall in there? No, not quite. Okay. Now we could just put a large wall in like that. And once again use trees to hide the issue with it. Do you reckon that will work? Because this time we can put that like that. Okay, so if we use trees once again in this area, but I think maybe not that one, the snowy mountain tree, kind of next to the bridge on each side, could look quite nice. Give you something to actually look at. Though that I can only put it there. And then hopefully if we put some smaller trees around it, it will kind of help hide it even more. Can we... Ah, there we go. So I could put one there. And then put a tree like that. And there you go. So that is what it's looking like. And it actually quite well hides the inconsistency with what we had. So, in terms of what I'm thinking out the front area, using, if I can find it, we're going to have this out here, I think. as a kind of nice carriage at the entrance to her house, I think would be quite nice. But what I want to do now is around the actual castle, I think it would be nice to have a smaller courtyard that's kind of more direct for her actual castle. Now the issue that we will have with this is there'll be a lot of inconsistencies with it. I also need to remember to fix this inconsistency at some point as well. But that is going to be one issue we will probably face quite a lot. Actually, I'm thinking, instead of having the normal entryway, do we think we could just, if we place that like that, and then do the same there, making them nearly level. Are they level? Yeah. So if we do that, but I'll send it a little bit further across. And do that to make a little nice entryway. And then even though that sticks out ever so slightly, we can once again use some nice trees to just cover up what has happened there and pretend that it is all perfectly aligned and that there isn't just a massive issue when building slanted, but it gives a little bit of a nicer entrance. So I think what we're going to do is put her castle like that. Yeah, there we go, because that is a really nice image. Then that would make a really nice image. So I might even actually take a picture of that. Just like there. So we'll just take a screenshot. And I'll stick that on my PlayStation app shortly, just so that we can actually get that onto my personal device, so that we can use that image again. Now once again, this is going to create an inconsistency in the wall, because, oh actually that's... So that's actually, no, that's... So yeah, that's what we've been doing kind of the whole way across, I think, is getting them to clip ever so slightly in, like this. There we go, because that actually looks kind of like it's an intentional little design. So let's continue it like this. Going now with the shorter walls. And I think that works quite nicely. There we go. So we've got the slanted walls. So I think that is quite a nice design. If you do like what I'm doing, please make sure you do like the stream and subscribe to the channel. It greatly helps us out with the algorithm on YouTube, so always make sure you're doing that. Will definitely help us out, and is always a nice thing for us creators to see. Let's see then if I can just place this anywhere. No, okay, so I can't place that anywhere. So that, I think, makes a really nice entryway currently. So you could go in through this way, and you could just go in, go around, and you get to this little entrance here where you can see the amazing castle, and she has a little private courtyard as well, away from the massive courtyard, or the much larger courtyard, I should say. It's not massive because by the time you've had the walls in, there's not as much space. What we're going to do is we're going to clean up this area and take out all the rubbish and the excess stuff that we don't need. And then what we'll do is begin to add some furnishings to this area. So we will just go and jump over those. I think that is us done on clearing the area out. So what I want to do is make some nice little areas for Cinderella to enjoy, as she lives away from her stepsisters, which always treated her horribly. So what we're going to do is I'm also probably going to actually put a wall across there because they're quite close together. So I'm going to stick that bush there just so I could put a wall across here, which I think would look quite nice. So what we're going to do, particularly in this area, is what seating do I have? Not all that much seating, to be honest. So what seating would work best for this area? I kind of actually think the stone bench looks quite nice. Just like that. And if we just get a table to put between them. Like a nice white marble table. Have I got the other? Have I got a bigger one, or is that all I've got? I have a nice large table, which I think could look quite nice. And then what we can do is get another one of these items. It's the kind of enchanted stone bench or seat. We'll go and see if we can find it in Scrooge's catalogue and see if we can make this nice design for Cinderella. I don't know why I went in there. So let's go in the store.
Remember, I ain't no chump.
Greetings, neighbour.
This always happens at Scrooge's store.
Neighbour.
Well, I'd like to order some items, furniture. And that's had seating. And what I wanted to get is one of these. It's the enchanted stone bench. So we'll get one of those. And then what I want to do is get a few more of the walls. Is it in landscaping, do you reckon? No, it's not in landscaping. So to just probably be in where do we reckon it would be? It's in miscellaneous maybe. Because miscellaneous seems to be where a lot of the random kind of kits and that go, do you reckon? If we keep scrolling, might find it? No? Because I can see it's a wall sets here. So I would have thought the castle, Charming Castle build set would equally be in here. But it would appear not. So I don't actually know where it would be. So let's just go in, unless it's in decor. Yeah, it's in decor, you see. So let's just get 4 of these, a couple of these. And just in case I need them, let's just get 2 of those. And then what I'm also thinking would be quite nice is if we could get any kind of wish blossom buildings, because I don't think I can order many of them. But I think that would be quite nice to have just outside of the castle area. So we might see, I might need to see if we have the resource to make one of those. So let's get back on Sven and go and make this build look even better now. So, as I said, I am kind of just making this up as I go along, so it's not going to be the most perfect design first time, but I think that adds to the charm of the build and the way that I am building. Now, I think what we'd rather like to do... Can I put that kind of behind here? No. Okay, because I'm kind of thinking that currently that's a little bit... It's kind of not how I wanted it to be. And I'm going to have to move that as well. So let's move that into this corner for now. And because I realistically want that like that, because I could do a little bit in there. And then if we do that, but I'm guessing we can't put a wall with tower in there, because it's going to impact on that one. But if we... Do we reckon we could... If we do like the right angle, could this look decent? It's a bit awkward, I think, to use. So I'm not going to do that. I think it's probably best to do that, and then if I okay, so let's put that like that, and then is there any way that I can get this one to go inside here? Because realistically, we could Right, okay, temporarily I'm going to do that. Because I'm going to move the bush for now. We'll just move it into there. And we will see if we can make this work in any kind of witchy way. Okay, so I think with a little bit of tree work, that could work. With a little bit of hiding behind trees, this could look really quite nice. There we go. It doesn't even look like there's an issue there. And it all flows really well from a distance. It looks really nice. So I think that works very well. If you do want to let me know what you're thinking, please feel free to put a message in the chat. Let me know if you have any ideas for this build. But what we're going to do for now is put that bush there, and what I might see is if we have another one of those bushes around in surrounding biomes, which we don't seem to have any. Oh, we have one more. Okay, we'll grab the other one just to kind of make a little gardening patch over here. And then what we can also do is if we go into all, let's see, because this kind of teapot stand I think would look really well, but it's unfortunately a cherry blossom. I don't think the cherry blossom quite works. Oh, we could place some of these lights down. The New Year's community lanterns I think look really nice. So they could work nicely there. But what else do we have that could kind of work well in the design? Have I still got the spell pumpkin, or have I done something with that? Do we know? Do I still have the spell pumpkin? Oh, we can use that because it's kind of a wintry area. But I kind of think that'd look quite nice. There. We'll have to see where we come out of it. How that looks. But it looks like I don't have the spell pumpkin. So I'll have to see if I can figure out where it is. But there we go. What do we think to that? Maybe just move it a little bit across. There we go. We've got a nice little fountain in the entryway there. Now what I'm actually thinking though is, do we kind of bring it out here and make it a bit more of a status piece in here? Yeah, I think we do actually. And then what we could do actually, I've had an idea. So do we then turn this area, because I've got this snowdrop castle, do we put kind of the Arundel building set in this area with this castle and have two castles kind of really close together? What do we think? I think that could work quite nicely. And we could also put in, just kind of out here, we could put in a nice house just to kind of fill out this space. Because I don't have many of the small houses, if I'm being honest. I don't have many small houses. Though actually that might work. Putting a little witchy house in here. Kind of linking to the fairy godmother, who's kind of very witchful and very much a friendly witch. And then if we clear out the area, we can put down the pumpkin carriage. But what do we have any nice paths that we could use? I'm actually going to say I quite like the idea of using the stone slab path and just placing it in like little squares like that. As much as this might take a bit of time. No, I've put it there in the wrong place. Okay. And just doing little squares of these kind of going across the area, I think could be quite nice. And getting some more of those New Year's kind of community lanterns could also be quite nice. But let's just for now put in these paths. Just kind of slightly changing the pattern of them, but then putting in can I remove the flower? I can move it up here just so that we can do that. And then what we're currently doing is that. And yeah, we could try and connect the path over here. It'll be amazing if this works first time, given how many... Given the fact that we're kind of making this up as we go along. But I think this actually works really well and very nicely lines up. And there you go, you got a nice little kind of path that's not quite perfect, doesn't look perfect, but it looks quite nice. So what do we think to that? So I think that looks quite nice. She got kind of an arched path with it because of how we've done it. I think that looks really nice. And when we get some more flowers that could kind of go across here, that would be very nice. And then we can just do some more of these trees kind of going around. And then if we get some of these just to kind of fill out the back area, just to make it feel a little bit more enclosed, because then as you're walking through, this just looks so nice. I think that is very nice. And then I think we just want some little kind of like maybe get a little picnic blanket in here, might look quite nice. And I think in here a lot more kind of pristine, a lot more perfection in the design, and make it a lot more kind of a lot more designed. Not have so much randomness to it. So if we kind of continue this path, actually, let me undo that. Because we have diagonal paths, we could just take that path right up to the palace like that. And then just because the path's not quite perfect, we can just do that. Yeah, I think that works. So I kind of want to now center this to the path better, I think, actually. Hang on. I think we need to do this bit more precise, because hopefully could we kind of do that. There we go. And then we've got an annoying little path there. Which, what we might need to do is just click on the path. Oh no, no, we don't want to do that. No. And then, was there still a little bit of path there? There is. Okay. There we go, I think. We're just trying to make this perfect. There we go. And I think that just looks really nice. However, I kind of want to move the castle out of the way for a second. Just because if you see this path, in terms of how we've done it, I just want to make sure it is gonna work perfectly. If we just do that, and then we can, there we go, and then we can just do that, and then click that one and do that. There we go. That should work better, just for filling the space in the actual entryway of the castle. We can make that line up perfectly. Right, let's have a look at that. So we've got, so we have the more precise path that goes straight up and to the castle. So, if we do that, and then I think we can grab Sven to take that out of there. And then we could just put, actually, what underbrush items do we have for this kind of area? Because we have the snowy alpine flowering bush, which is very big. and then we have the smaller ones. So if we kind of just swap between them, I think, to kind of make it look like this perfectly manicured garden, like that. And then if we grab one of those trees, putting it in there, or we could put that actually, and then we can again just kind of fill the back area in with this. And then can we get one of the smaller trees to put in here? So there you go. So that's the kind of idea, is to make a perfectly designed, perfectly organised garden. In the immediate entryway to the castle. I think that would look, that just looks really nice. And then down in this area, I think it would be nice to have... Do we have any like small, just little items? Doesn't look like we have any small items that kind of are for this area. What foliage items do we have? So we could just put some little flower baskets in there. And then what I might do is just stick the holiday hedge in here. And then if we got anything smaller, because that winter holiday hedge is massive. So what we'll do as well is if we put down some of these winter holiday trees, and then some small ones of those, and then we can let that kind of fill in with flowers, and I think that would be quite nice for the entryway. So there we go, we have the nice entrance to her castle. As I said, I think a little picnic blanket over here would be quite nice, and then just maybe some seats here to look out over the water. So what do we have that would kind of work for that? I think just a nice little picnic table actually could just work in the corner here as a nice little idea. And then do we reckon just maybe a shell chair, and I'll get another one to kind of mirror that. I think that could be quite nice. So we'll head on Sven again back down to Scrooge's shop. And then I think for this part of the building, we will be completely done for making the first area of the building for that part of Wish Blossom Mountains. So we'll go through here. and speak to Scrooge.
Good day, dear. Greetings, neighbor.
I'd like to order some items, furniture, and I want to just type shell. And yeah, we can get another shell share. We'll get 2 of those. And then shall we get... Oh, I already have a shell book, so we can put one of those down. Which I think would be quite nice. So if we get back on Sven, and head up here, there we go. And now what we can do is place down, if we place one like there, and then the other one about there, and then we could just stick a little shell bath mat down. And then what actually might look cool so that's weird with the paths, is the carpet kind of takes priority and kind of doesn't. I kind of don't like that. So we have this area done. I think it looks really nice. So over in this area then, we have some nice area to build to make it in keeping with what we've just done, while making it its own separate area. And we'll remove these dead wish blossoms. And now over here, this is kind of where we would park our horses, if that's the right word. And obviously park the carriage. So I think it's definitely important to place down the carriage now. If we can find it. And I think actually, does the carriage fit on there? Almost. I think that looks quite nice. Kind of on its little carpet. Then obviously we've said about we wanted this to be in here. And I think just having that kind of fitting in like that. Put another tree in here if we can. It's kind of a little bit awkward to put the trees down around the well. But that's not a problem. And then can we move that reclaimed barnwood just over to... Can we move it into a different area? Yeah. Okay. Just so it's out of our way. Because then I can move this the house over there. And then we can put some of these little hanging, whatever they're called, enchanted cage lanterns. We can put some of those up just to make the area look a bit nicer. There we go. And then, do we have... So we have the lion statues, which I was going to put here. However, will they fit? Yeah. So even though these are from the Beauty and the Beast set, I think they look quite nice being here. There we go. So kind of have entryway into the area there. And then what I want to do here is looking at some of the stuff that we have. Can we build ourselves a small little stables? Because obviously in a lot of these kind of prince and princess movies, they often have horses, kind of a knight in shining armour, as it were. So what we could do is we could build it using that, or we have that, which would take a bit more work to design into a stables. But I think it could work. Yeah, let's try and make that into a stable idea. So if we can place down the Arendelle city centre like that. And then with the work of some fencing, because we have 104 white picket fences, so I say we just kind of do that. Take that up the side like that. And then if we go round this way, connect it up with that, and then we kind of, I'm guessing if we move that, yeah, it's going to leave those there. However, that could be a really useful thing. Because what I can do to take advantage of the fact that the fences stay together is if I carefully move this out of there, I can see where the pillar is. And so I could hopefully put down a fence there. And then we check, so the pillar's going to be there. So let's see if it works by going for this way. And then we can move that back in. And assuming you could get in through behind, you can still get the horses in and out. Which we can't. Okay, we might need to move it forward a little bit. But that is kind of the stable idea. I like that. I think that would work, having that as a little stables in this area. Just give me a second. Yeah, it's quite loud. Right, so if we move this forward then, which we'll have to take out all the fence first. Which is... oops. Okay. However, we should now be able to just move it forward, hopefully? No. Okay. So we need to move the inside fences as well. So if we remove all of those, bring it in to there. And then do that there. And this time actually doing the inside fences alongside. Because then what we can do is actually have all the fences connect. And then hopefully do that. Take those down there. Take that up there. So, I actually think I would say, yeah, we can take this one further. There we go. So, assuming we can now get a horse through there, that I think would make quite a nice little stables. So if we come down this way, we can actually get a horse in. And because they could go through there actually, we can make this even better. Because I could then just... oh, no! It's really annoying. Okay. Have I got anything else that I could put in that's maybe not so thick of an item? Kind of just to make a little wall behind it. Nah, okay. Never mind. I was going to try and put a wall behind it because you could get your horses through, but it doesn't look like there's much space. The most we could do is put that in. Would that kind of make the design any better? I mean, it works. We just need a little bit more of that. But I think it just makes it look a bit fuller. And there you go. You got a nice little stables there to park your horse as you go into the lovely area for Cinderella's home. With Cinderella actually just living in this castle. But we've given her this whole space around it, all for her to enjoy, which I think is absolutely amazing. Just the area. We've obviously covered up some of the issues with the build kit, and I think I just want to put some decoration down of little pumpkins around the witch's hut. So do we have in the decor area, just for fun, we'll just place down the Dapper Snowman, just for a cool little design. And then we do have the Mickey Mouse pumpkin, which I think would just look quite nice. And we just could put a little few pumpkins there. Or actually, just put them there, just so we don't block the space of getting in and out of our stables. And then I think just a nice little path through would be quite good. And we'll just take this all the way down here. Once again, I'm going to just need to go and take up this. And we now have almost complete an almost completed design for where Cinderella will live. So in next week's stream, we will probably continue doing some questing, and then we'll just keep swapping between quests and designing, just so we're kind of catering to what different people like, and also progressing with the game whilst making some lovely designs. But what I'm going to do is make some more of that fence that we've used. It's just this one. 9 should do it. Why is that so loud again? Right, okay. There we go. So, that should at least now mean that we can finish putting this along here. There we go. And now that design is completed. You can still just about access this, I think. Yeah, just about access that. So we shouldn't have lost any major mining spots, because you can get around here if you need to. And then obviously you've still got that mining spot there. So I think we've mostly left mining spots untouched in terms of blockages. And if you really need to, you could generally go round the back of all of the design, almost. Very, very almost. It's just that little area you can't do there. But you can get all behind here, so if you're fishing, you can get behind there. And I don't actually know where the mining spots are in this area. Oh, there's one there. There's none up there, and I don't think there's one over here, but might be worth having a quick look. We just collect that memory that we got.
Wanna know a secret?
Oh, so there might be one mining spot that might be quite difficult to get to. But of all the mining spots in the area, I think losing one is not too much of an issue. And either way, we might still be able to get between these. No, we can't. It does not look like you could get there at all. But never mind, that is not a problem. And then as you come out here, you've got the big kind of slope up and over the bridge, where I'm thinking of putting the Snowdrop Castle. So we have the 2 castles in the area. But yeah, what do we think? Because I think these are absolutely lovely. And if we just turn these lights on, it's even better. So there you go, you've got Cinderella's carriage. You can get here by wishing well. It is the Silver Summit. And then obviously we've got a nice little stables for Sven to enjoy, or any other horses that we take on with us when we are going to come up and see Cinderella in her house. And as we obviously get to walk through here, even if we're just passing through, because it is a nice easy cut through, over to the other bridge down here. And of course you've got the little guards on the castle wall that I think looks really nice. I can just see the little clock tower on her castle. On Cinderella's castle you can just see it peeping over all the trees as well. I think that is absolutely lovely. And yeah, so what we'll do now is we'll just clean up the area in, is it the Ranch Highlands? Clean up the Ranch Highlands area. We probably won't get time to actually do the building there today, but we'll just do a quick Ranch Highlands clean up, maybe place down the Snowdrop Castle, and we might get some time to do something there. But we will see. So if we head over here, I think first off, I am going to put in the Arundel Wolves, but I want to unmark these as favourite now that I've done the build with these. And we can mark all of these as a favourite instead. And I'm just thinking, so I think if we do that, and then do we reckon we can do the same clever designing with this one, where we just kind of avoid too many issues. However, can that go further across? It can. Might just need it to go a little bit across, just so we can mimic it on this side. Might need to go a bit further. And then we can hopefully pop this on this side now. And then all I'm going to do with this one is, firstly, just because I think it's a cool little idea, put a Bella Beast Snow Angels in, just because I think it's a nice idea. And then what I'm going to do, I think, is just grab some more wintry trees, just to hide the issue, like we've been doing all through the stream, where we've got little problems like this. Just kind of putting a tree or so in to hide it, make it look nice. Actually, that was needed there, I think. There we go. So if we bring Sven through here, and we obviously have all of these dead wish blossoms to clear, so we'll clear all of those up. There we go. So if we just clear these up before placing anything else down, And then we've got a little one here to take out. And then just some up in the central area. And finally there. Right, so there we go. Let's take him back to the stables. Just over the bridge. And into the little stable. There we go. So what we now have is a nice clean area to work with, to be able kind of to put in the snowdrop castle over in here. Now actually that looks like it's showing the right time, I think. I'll be interested to see if that clock actually changes as we go through. We'll check towards the end of the stream, because hopefully time will have passed, and it will be interesting to see if the time actually changes, or if it was just randomly set to that time. Okay, so let's clear these things out as well. And then we can pick up the reclaimed barnwood, flowers, and whatever else is in the area. And this is how much space we have to work with for the other castle that we're going to place down. Now, I'm not actually going to live in the castle, even though it's a player house style. I'm purely doing this for the design. Purely doing it to have the two castles on the snow peaks in the Wish Blossom area. So let's come out of that mode and we'll go into here to place down the Snowdrop Castle, which I think I want to actually do something with that cave. So we'll place it over in this corner. If we do it like that, just need to get this reclaimed barnwood before I forget about it. And then what we can hopefully do is, obviously because we're building a lot of this at a slant, there is the slight issues on them fitting together. However, it is not a problem. I just want to make sure that's going to go kind of nicely in together. So there you go, you've got access to the cave, which I think is a nicer entrance than just the cave entrance. And then actually, that is very, very good actually on the connection. So it's good on that side. No, that side's not as good. Can we make it better? Can we kind of figure out how we did it on the other side? Because, oh, that connection's not quite perfect, but it's very small. It's kind of like that. But it's fine. It does not matter. We can just put another tree in here. Maybe put a couple of trees in. And then what we can do, I think, is for now, should we just stick that like that? And then can I pop this in here? Yeah. Okay, there we go. So, we have kind of that arch there. And I think all I'm going to do is put in some of the kind of big kind of tree group things. If I can find the one for here. The Wish Blossom Pine cluster like that. Just stick that in there. You should still be able to access the cave, I imagine. So, oh, we might have actually made it quite difficult to get into the cave. Oh no, you can still get to the cave with not too much hassle. Not that you really ever need to go in here, but in case randomly someone has a friendship quest that leads to this area, which wouldn't surprise me in this game, you can still access it. But yes, this is the Arundel castle walls, I think, or city walls. And yeah, this is just all going to go around the area for the Snowdrop Castle. Which, my idea for this area is going to be very much tree clusters all over the place. And just one big massive courtyard for the area. So that is the plan, and I think that will be very nice, but I just want to remove that mailbox actually. So we just, there we go. So now it's just a nice simple castle. But yeah, I don't think we're going to continue much of that today. Because what I do actually want to do is have a look around all of Scrooge's shops just before we finish up for the day. And it does look like the clock is changing. So that's a really nice detail, is the fact that actually is a working clock on the front. But let's go over here, we'll grab Sven, and let's go around all the shops, and I will also put all of this away because we have way too much in our inventory. So we do not want that. But hello Sven, in your little stable area. And we could take him across the nice path that we've done there. We will look in the Plaza and Wish Blossom shops, even though we've kind of already been in them. And I want to have a look at Kristoff's stall, particularly for the Wish Blossom Ranch. Just to make sure that there's nothing we need.
Remember, time is money.
Not too bothered about getting the Glamour Gulch hedges.
Oh, she has the most beautiful voice.
Got a stained glass window which we've already got. Is that a bench or a table?
Greetings, neighbor.
Wooden side table. But of course my game is continuing to be a little bit weird when speaking with Scrooge. The game is once again continuing to mess up. And what is that wallpaper?
Oh, greetings, neighbor.
Light painted earth wallpaper. That is not the nicest wallpaper. I've seen much nicer in my many days of playing this game.
Oh, greetings, neighbor. Good day,
But I
dear.
will get this hoodie if I can. There we go. So that is the Wish Blossom Scrooge's shop. So we'll head over to the market stall area. So the actual market rather than the shops, which is just over here. And I believe it is going to be useful to get the shiny honeycomb since we need 6 of that. So we'll get that just there. And then I'm not too bad because he's not selling the reclaimed barnwood, which is the main item I actually want from him. So let's head over and away from the Wish Blossom, and we'll go over to the Storybook Vale Marketplace to go and see what Scrooge is selling over there. So, I believe if we go this way, we can see Scrooge's shop just over there. This is one of the biggest marketplaces that I have, with one of the smallest designs for stables. As you can see, that is the nice little stables here. You will notice I have got a self-built stables in most of the marketplaces.
Good day to you.
I do really
Good
like
day,
this
dear.
clock tower, so I'm going to buy that. Let's see what else
Why, what a lovely
we
day.
have in the shop. Ooh.
Oh, greetings, neighbor.
See, that's going to be a door, so you
Greetings,
can't actually use
neighbour.
that inside, outside. So I don't really want
kindly.
that, I don't think. Okay, so let's head over, and we'll have a quick look at Christoph's stall here as well. It's just going to be... Oh, I actually moved them, didn't I? The stalls are up here. And that's the little kind of outdoor library. Just over there. And this is Christoph's stall. Not selling all that much that's useful. So we'll just head straight down to the hot air balloon. And we'll go over and get the boat to Eternity Isle. So we'll head over to Eternity Isle now. So let's head on up the stairs into the marketplace of Eternity Isle. And I believe this is actually one area that I don't have the self-built stables in this area. I just have the normal stables. I will do a self-built stables here somewhere, but I'm just struggling on design at the minute for that. But what we will do is we'll head into Scrooge's shop here. I think this is one of the most convenient marketplaces that I've got built. We'll see what he is selling.
Good day, dear.
Grand bookshelf from Beauty and the
greetings,
Beast.
neighbor.
Okay.
Hey, watch where you're going. Dragon coming through.
Hello.
Half cup chair. I don't know what is going on every time I speak to Scrooge, but it is rather annoying. So what we'll do now is we'll just head over and have a look at the Plaza shop. And then I think we will just take one look at our designs before we finish today's stream, because I have been quite busy today, as I did spend an hour and a half recording for Hogwarts Legacy, which that will be coming out around Thursday or Friday. So make sure you look out for that. Of course, I've got Hotopia videos coming out, with the next one expecting to come out tomorrow, assuming I can manage to do the editing today for it. That will come out tomorrow, and then it'll be Hogwarts Legacy after that, before ending the week with a final Lego Fortnite video. So that is the plan. And then we'll either start the week on Sunday with Heartopia video or with a Hogwarts Legacy video,
Have a bull market day.
depending on what we have. We'll
Good day,
buy
dear.
this because it's going to be useful for redeveloping our Alice in Wonderland themed outdoor cafe area. Wallpapers I'm not too bothered about, and the rugs aren't the best. So I think I am done for looking at the shops. We'll just quickly have a look at Christoph's stall here, because he could sell any type of wood. So we will head on over here and down here, and he's just selling softwood, so I'm not too bothered about that. But I will buy the brick actually, and we'll buy fibre as well. There we go. So let's head back over to the Silver Summit. And we can take one last look at what we have achieved today. We'll go all the way from up here. And the clock should be showing around about 5 to 4. Assuming it is showing accurate time. Which it most definitely is, which is lovely. So, obviously, in the town I've explained the idea, but this is what we have so far, with the Snowdrop Castle in the corner, the castle walls with the foresty thing there, just to give you an idea of what's to come. And then, obviously, we've shown this a lot, but just to show you one last time, we have the entryway where we park the pumpkin carriage and any horses, with the little witch house there, before we head into the castle quarter for Cinderella. I almost forgot her name, which is a miracle because I've said that many times today. We've got this nice little seating area here, and her lovely little garden just outside her castle, with this lovely path that I've done. And then that is the final entrance. So thank you very much for watching the stream. Not as long today, but we have achieved so much today. So thank you very much for watching the stream, and I will see you in the next stream. The next stream will be Thursday at 2 p.m. It'll be Minecraft Survival. So thank you very much for watching this stream, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.